Hello, welcome to another episode of Monday with Marie. If you're like me, which most of you are, you're in back-to-back meetings, and sometimes you don't even have time to go to the bathroom or let alone run to get a glass of water because it's one meeting after the other. And the art of ending a meeting on time is a leadership skill. And it's one that we don't really take a lot of stock to. So the third murder that we're talking about in Murder by Meeting is really about that, ending meetings on time and making sure that you're mindful and respectful of other people's time. When people show up late to meetings, appointments, trainings, learnings, whatever sessions that you have, and they say, my last meeting went long and they're exhausted. And of course, you understand, I realize that it's out of their control to do that. But the problem is, it's disrespectful for the other person's time. And it's not their fault because their meeting went long. It happens to all of us. And so what we have to recognize is that when people come into meetings because they're rushed from the second meeting, we need to do a simple check. Is this time still work for you? Do you need to reschedule this and get something else done, take a break, and maybe come back to it? Or if they say, yes, no, let's continue, then, okay, so recognize that we're going to be ending at X time. State that up front. It's really important that you state that up front and that you make sure you let people know, like, this is the expectation of what's going to happen here. Showing up on time, ending on time is really respectful, and it shows that you respect that person's time. And occasionally you're going to run late because your other meeting ran late. And so that's the reality of, unfortunately, the world we live in terms of Zoom. But you want to also be respectful of that person and recognize, like, look, if we need the full hour, then we need the full hour. The other trick that really helps if you're going to be managing your time on Zoom is to actually not set up the real meeting for the full hour. Make it a 50-minute meeting. Even though you're budgeting an hour for the meeting, let the person know we're going to end 10 minutes before the hour. That way they have 10 minutes to take a break. And it's really a good practice to have all your meetings end 10 minutes before the hour. Now, one of the things that I run up against, which I struggle with all the time, are the people that don't take the subtle hint that the meeting is over, whether it's a phone call or it's a Zoom meeting, and you say, okay, well, I have to go now. And then they proceed to continue another conversation. One of the things that I do now that has really helped me is that, again, at the beginning of the meeting or the workshop or whatever, I say, look, I only have 50 minutes. And so at 10 minutes to the hour, I'm going to have to cut this short. And I'm going to apologize up front because I'm just going to shut down the meeting. And that way, you have people that get really excited about talking to you and they don't know how to end the meeting. They want to continue talking to you, but you're saying to them at that point, it's time. I really have to let you go. And then you just hang up or you close the meeting. You say goodbye and hang up and close the meeting. You don't give them the opportunity to go, oh, but one more thing. The other thing that you want to do before you shut down the meeting is you want to recap. You want to say, okay, this is what we've discussed. This is what we've agreed to. This is what we need to do next. The recap is really important because that allows you to make sure that all the action plans that need to be completed after the meeting are clear. People know what they need to do. Also, assign a timekeeper if it's a larger meeting. And here's why. If you're engaged in actually facilitating the conversation, facilitating the meeting, you also don't want to be the one that's having to watch the time because you're not paying attention to what's going on. So assign a timekeeper to help the meeting on track that can signal the group that we've hit the time for certain milestones in the meeting. And then this holds everyone accountable to the boundaries of time. And then if someone else is running the meeting and it looks like it's going to go long, you want to clearly set expectations. You want to say, I just want to check in. Do we have another 30 minutes to keep going? Because it seems like we have about 30 minutes more of conversation. So kind of giving them that, oh, I need to wrap this up, or oh, I need to talk to everybody about setting that time. If you do these few tips, you're going to be able to control time. And when I mean control time, I mean control time for your meetings, and then you don't have to worry about having those difficult conversations of hanging up on people or that stress of, I just need to go to the restroom before my next meeting, which happens to me all the time. So with that, I'll say to you, have a great Monday. Don't murder anybody this week with a bad meeting. And remember, you can make time your friend if you take accountability and you set boundaries for your time. See you next Monday. Bye for now.